You got diamonds in your eyes tonight, throwing fire.
Throughout this video, people were asked a series of questions based on the Sacrament of Marriage.
And falling hard enough to lose the fight. Not in it for the money, just in it for the...
Marriage is a bond between two people. It's a license to be together.
It's a commitment before God and to each other.
It's really just a legalized form of commitment.
My definition of marriage is a bond between two people who love each other very much and are building a life together.
Definition of marriage would be when two people come together and make a commitment to one another as criteria to that commitment of certain standards.
My definition of marriage is the legal connection between two people founded upon common ideas, dreams, goals, so on and so forth, and of course, the love and care they have for each other.
I think it's writing in stone, like cementing your relationship, saying, I'm ready to spend the rest of my life with this person, showing everyone, like celebrating your love together.
Two people that have like a connection or bond within each other.
Marriage is between, of course, a man and a woman, and it involves consummating that relationship physically a lot.
You wanna be with all that money, that money, that money. Give me neon lights.
Honesty with each other, a love for each other, willing to sacrifice sometimes if need be, having to get through the good times and the bad times.
Be able to communicate and talk about problems and see it through. To spend the rest of your life together in sickness and health, rich or poor.
People that respect each other and don't hate each other.
A good husband or a good wife should be loving and compassionate and understanding and honest, and they should have a relationship where they can talk about anything and communicate with each other.
I think the qualities is mutual respect. I think a sense of adventure, and I also think friendship, that you should be good friends and like each other as people.
I think you have to be generous, caring, sweet, thoughtful, loving, and then you also have to be able to understand each other well and work to overcome difficulties together.
Definitely communication. You're able to listen. You want to be able to compromise.
Respect and love with each other.
A wife at all times should be subservient to the husband, while the husband should provide a good home for her to be subservient in.
You gotta give yourself a moment, let your body be. We gotta lose you.
No, it's not. It just adds to it. It's a lovely thing if it happens, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
I think so. It's continuation of what a marriage is to have children and have a family. And
No, you can have children with or without marriage. It depends on your commitment. That's what's important.
I think it depends on the couple. I think children, if you can have children, it's an important thing to do. And if you can't, it would be a nice thing to adopt and try to make your home a loving place for a child as well, and a more complete family.
I don't think it's a must. I think it can certainly help define a marriage.
I think that having kids can be important in a marriage, and by having, I mean not necessarily just having, but also, adopting. I think it is important and can strengthen a relationship. However, I don't believe that it's necessary, because you can You can still love each other without kids. And if you aren't in love before you're having kids, or you don't love each other as much because you have no kids, it's not a very healthy relationship.
I don't think it's totally important because some people actually like physically cannot have children, but I think it would really bring two people closer together, or adopt. I mean, it would just really make people grow up and be more responsible.
No, I don't think
Why?
it's important. Well, because I mean, you can be a happy couple and not have kids.
No, children are not important because they take away from the woman being able to take care of her man properly. As we all know, the man is the head and most important part of the family unit.
Lose it, lose it, we gotta lose it. Lose it, lose it, lose it, we gotta.
I think so, to bless and sanctify it, not necessarily every day.
I believe it is. I do. I believe it's a basic for a lot of my beliefs. And Grandpa, I know that he doesn't practice his religion, but I think it's a basics for him too, you know, yeah.
That would honestly depend on what your religious views are. So if you believe in a God, you could very easily say, if it's your view that God brought us together or something like that, but depending on where your belief system is, maybe not, because you could be a part of atheism and not have a God, but a very strong, committed marriage. So it really just depends on where your belief system is. It's individualized.
There's always a role for God in everything that people do. I think God is present in the relationship between people, and especially in a marriage. Working on your faith together and having God as part of your relationship is a really great way to become closer and love each other in a more deeper way.
I do feel that under the eyes of God, it's important that that commitment and that promise is carried out.
I don't think so. I don't think religion should impact how much you love each other, just like in the previous question. However, I do believe that God can help in a marriage, and being religious in a relationship or a marriage can help strengthen it and help you both to overcome difficulties, which is a very important part in a marriage.
I think there is a role for God in marriage, because if you think that if you have similar beliefs in your marriage, you can really bond, because you can share your deepest thoughts and beliefs and cares and like values.
I don't think religion matters, because you can be a different religion and you can still be happily loved and everything.
No, there is no role for God because God would take away again from the wife being able to be subservient to the man. The end.
I mainly agreed with most of the answers I got in this video. Overall, people said that marriage is between two people and it forms a bond between them. And people said that a good husband and a good wife need to respect and love one another as people. And most people it was kind of half and half on the kids. Some people said that kids are important because it does what God wants us to do. Other people said it depends on the couple, that if there is going to be kids. And for the last one, it was half and half. Some people think that God is very important in marriage because God is in like everything we do, and that God wants us to get married. But then on the other hand, people said it depends. People said again that it depends on the people. That if God needs to be in a marriage or if God doesn't have to be, it's more on like a personal view. First question was, what is your definition of marriage? Now my answer to that question is a bond between two people who love each other very much and two people who want to strengthen their bond. The second question is, what qualities should be in a good husband and a good wife? Well, in marriage, even though it doesn't have to be between a man and a woman, it could be two men, two women, though the couple needs to have a respect for each other, and they need to be able to communicate their feelings to one another. They need to love each other as people and just be able to share anything with the other person. The third question was, is having children important in marriage? I don't really think it is. It does help strengthen people, but if you can't have kids, then you can't have kids. But having kids could help people strengthen their bond between one another and could grow as people, as parents, and as more mature adults. Last question was, is there a role for God in marriage? Personally, I don't think so. You could be non-religious and still have a happy marriage. I know plenty of people who are happy and aren't religious people. So I don't say there's a need for God, but if you do have God, I guess that helps. I guess it strengthens your relationship with your partner. I would say it depends on the people, whether or not they are religious or not, but really, I don't think there really is a role for God. One final thing I just want people to know is that marriage is what you make of it. And as long as you show other people what you think of marriage, then that's all that matters. Don't be afraid to voice your opinions and speak up about what you think is right and what you think is good.